Story 1. It was a typical school day, and the students were excited to take their class photo. They lined up outside, all smiles and giggles. The teacher took a quick snap and they all huddled around to take a closer look. But as they examined the photo, they noticed something strange in the background, a shadowy figure lurking in the bushes. The students pointed it out to the teacher, who quickly snatched the phone and deleted the picture. She seemed visibly shaken and urged everyone to go home. But it was too late. That night, the students began to feel unwell. Some complained of headaches while others experienced stomach cramps. The symptoms only grew worse as the night went on. The next day, the school was closed due to an outbreak. But rumors began to circulate among the students that the shadowy figure in the photo was a malevolent spirit that had possessed them all. And as the days went on, more and more students fell ill, until the school was forced to shut down indefinitely. No one knows what happened to the school or the students, but some say that the ghostly figure in the photo still haunts the halls, waiting to claim its next victim. Story 2. It was a dark and stormy night, and the old school building looked even more foreboding than usual. Emily, a new student at the school, was the only one there, staying late to finish her project. As she sat in the dimly lit classroom, she heard strange noises coming from the hallway. At first, she thought it was just the wind, but then she heard footsteps, coming closer and closer. Emily's heart began to race as she realized that she was not alone. She tried to call out, but her voice caught in her throat. Suddenly, a figure appeared in the doorway. It was a teacher, or at least that's what Emily thought at first. But as the figure drew closer, she realized that something was very wrong. The teacher's face was twisted into a grotesque grin, and his eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. Emily tried to run, but her legs wouldn't move. She was paralyzed with fear as the teacher approached her, his breath hot on her face. He whispered something in a language she didn't understand, and then he was gone. Emily sat there for what felt like hours, too scared to move. When she finally gathered the courage to leave, she found that the door was locked from the outside. She was trapped. As she wandered the dark, empty halls, she heard strange whispers and laughter, as if there were people lurking just out of sight. The school seemed to be alive with a malevolent energy, and Emily realized with a sickening feeling that she was not alone. She tried to find a way out, but the more she searched, the more lost she became. Eventually, she found herself back in the classroom where she started. But something was different. The teacher's desk was covered in strange symbols and artifacts, and there was a faint, sickly smell in the air. Emily didn't know how or when she would get out of the school, but she knew one thing for certain: she was not alone, and whatever was with her was not human. Story 3. It was the last day of school before summer break, and the students were eagerly packing up their belongings and saying goodbye to their friends. As the final bell rang, Sarah, a shy and introverted student, lagged behind in the empty hallway. As she walked to her locker, she noticed a strange, glowing light coming from one of the classrooms. Curiosity getting the better of her, she peered inside. What she saw made her blood run cold. There, in the middle of the room, was a portal to another dimension. It was swirling with colors and shapes she couldn't comprehend, and a faint chanting could be heard coming from within. Sarah knew that she should leave immediately and tell someone, but something drew her closer to the portal. She felt a strange, hypnotic pull, as if the portal were calling out to her. Before she knew it, Sarah was standing in front of the portal, peering into its depths. Suddenly, a tendril of darkness shot out and wrapped around her ankle, pulling her into the portal. Sarah screamed as she was sucked into the other dimension. It was a place of darkness and terror, filled with twisted creatures and unfathomable horrors. The air was thick with the stench of decay, and the ground was slick with a substance that Sarah didn't want to think about. As she stumbled through the darkness, Sarah realized that she was not alone. There were other people there, trapped like her. Some were screaming, some were weeping, and some were completely still, as if they had given up all hope. Sarah knew that she had to find a way out of the other dimension before it was too late. She searched for hours, feeling more and more hopeless with each passing moment. But just when she was about to give up, she saw a faint glimmer of light in the distance. With renewed energy, Sarah raced towards the light, praying that it would lead her back to her own world. When she finally reached it, she found herself back in the school, with the portal gone. It was as if nothing had ever happened, and Sarah wondered if it had all been just a terrible nightmare. But she knew the truth. Something had been waiting for her on the other side of that portal, and it was still out there, waiting for its next victim.